At midnight of August 7, 2022, a large crude oil carrier vessel, MT HEROC IDUN, entered Nigerian maritime environment without authorization. In fulfillment of its assigned responsibility of ensuring safe and secure maritime environment, the Nigerian Navy deployed its personnel and assets to avert the incursion. This episode of the Nigerian Navy today shall focus on the effort of the Nigerian Navy and other stakeholders in ensuring that the vessel was brought back to Nigeria to answer all charges brought against her. Glad to have you join us. I am Jibrin Baba Ndachi. Please stay with us.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, was in Banjul, the Gambia, where he participated at the 17th Africa Security Watch Awards and Conference held from 9th to 11th November 2022. The Africa Security Watch Awards was initiated and inaugurated in 2004 with the aim to recognize, appreciate, encourage, and celebrate individuals, governments, agencies, brands, and companies who have excelled in security administration and governance in Africa. In 2005, the conference series was introduced. The idea was to create a platform that will help identify security problems affecting Africa and her people, discuss problems, and profile actionable solutions. The conference brings together experienced security professionals from within and outside the African continent to identify, propose solutions, and facilitate the processes that will bring about a peaceful Africa. An opportunity for attendees to discover new approach to solving common security challenges. This year's edition, the 17th, since inauguration, was hosted by the Gambia, held at the Sadauda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center, Banjul, with the theme Post-COVID-19, Sustaining Security in Africa. Speaking at the event, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo emphasized the role of the federal government of Nigeria in the overall security of the continent and made a case for the need for African countries to seek collaborations within and harness resources in the fight against insecurity affecting the continent. Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, the Nigerian ambassador to the Gambia and former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, retired, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Governor Udom Emmanuel, Lieutenant General Lamidi Adeoshun, retired, and others took part in an interactive session after a lecture series where the Chief of the Naval Staff clarified the operation efforts of the Nigerian Navy. The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, bagged the highest award of the most outstanding naval chief in Africa, a well-deserved award given his sterling leadership of the largest navy in Africa. The Security Watch Africa strives to bridge the security information gap in the continent and ensure that Africans are on the cutting edge in contemporary security issues and solutions. As rightly said by the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, security and safety is everybody's business. The constitutional mandate of the Nigerian Navy is to ensure safe and secured maritime environment for legitimate socio-economic activities to strive. In line with this mandate, the political will of the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, strategic direction of Minister of Defense, Major General Bashiru Salihi Magashi retired, jointness of efforts of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, and the renewed determination and commitment of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, of enhancing security of the maritime domain. The Nigerian Navy monitors the activities of seafarers and takes appropriate action to avert all forms of criminality, including illegal bunkering, piracy, illegal, unreported, and regulated fishing, IUUF, and crude oil theft, among others. In fulfillment of this national assigned responsibility, the Nigerian Navy, while conducting routine monitoring of the maritime domain on August 7th, observed that a large crude oil carrier vessel, MT HEROC IDUN, entered the Nigerian maritime environment and headed for Akpo Field without any form of authorization or clearance. Built in 2020 and sailing under the flag of Marshall Islands, MT HEROC IDUN IMO 985808 is a vessel with an overall length of 336 meters and capacity of 3 million barrels. Using its state-of-the-art technology, the Nigerian Navy Maritime Domain Awareness Facility, the Falcon Eye, Nigerian Navy probed the legitimacy of the very large crude carrier's presence in the total SA-operated Akpo field. The outcome of all relevant inquiries from the controlling agency NNPC Limited revealed that the vessel was not cleared to be in Akpo oil field. This revelation necessitated the deployment of the Nigerian Navy inshore patrol craft NNS Gongola to investigate the supertanker's activities at Akpo on 8 August 2022. NNS Gongola arrived at Akpo oil field and interrogated MT HEROC IDUN, asking critical questions including her mission and approval status to enter Akpo field, among others. The captain of the vessel duly responded to the questions and further stated that MT HEROC IDUN was without relevant clearance to operate in the field. Accordingly, the vessel was ordered to turn around and follow NNS Gongola to Bonny Anchorage, pending when she will be cleared for loading by NNPC Limited. However, the captain, after contacting the master shipping agent, refused to cooperate with NNS Gongola and stated that she had been told not to take directives from the Nigerian Navy ship. Thereafter, she engaged full speed southwards towards the Sao Tome and Principe maritime area in a bid to evade arrest. Apart from refusing lawful arrest, the captain of the vessel made a broadcast of forced piracy attack call to IMB Piracy Reporting Center to mislead mariners that NNS Gongola was a pirate vessel and possibly concoct an alibi for her desperate action. The brazen act of defiance to constituted authority by the captain of the vessel necessitated the Nigerian Navy to invoke the collaboration of neighboring Equatorial Guinea through the Yaoundé architecture to arrest the vessel as she made way in the Equatorial Guinea waters. It is important to note that the Nigerian Navy surveillance facility was used to track and constantly update the Equatorial Guinea Navy on the location of the rogue vessel. The Equatorial Guinea amphibious ship, Captain David, was therefore vectored to intercept and arrest MT HEROC IDUN on 12 August 2022 and held at the Luba Anchorage in Bioko Island, Equatorial Guinea. After investigating the circumstances of its entry into the country, Equatorial Guinea imposed a fine on her for sailing through the country's exclusive economic zone EEZ without displaying the Equatorial Guinea flag. Leveraging on robust regional security architecture of Yaoundé Code of Conduct, which allows seamless security cooperation among navies in the Gulf of Guinea and friendly disposition of Equatorial Guinea, which, like Nigeria, is located in the Gulf of Guinea, Nigeria activated all high instruments of national power, diplomatic and military, to ensure the return of MT Heroic IDUN to the country. Hence, based on the directive and full support of the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, as well as support of the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Justice and Defense Headquarters, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, directed deployment of Nigerian Navy vessels NNS Oji and NNS Ikene on a mission codenamed Operation Bapada.
The Nigerian ambassador to Equatorial Guinea, on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, signed the document to take over MT Heroic IDUN. And as we gather here, Nigerian Navy ships are positioned to escort the vessel to Nigeria, although the crew are coming up with excuses of technical faults and ill health of the captain. This will not deter repatriation of the vessel.
The ship companies, commanded by Commander and Commander Collins Meze for NNS Oji and NNS Ikene respectively. While the ships were at sea, strategic leaders at Naval Headquarters and at Eastern Naval Command, commanders at NNS Pathfinders and Forward Operating Base Boni worked to ensure smooth sail and repatriation of MT Heroic IDUN to Nigeria. After 6 days at sea with the naval personnel on board, the ships dutifully ensuring smooth sail and all hands on deck, the journalists on board taking note and experiencing what the personnel go through on daily basis at sea during deployment, the ships finally got to Biako and Courage in Luba Island, Malabo, where the rogue vessel MT Heroic vessel berthed. With vessel in sight, some Nigerian Navy Special Boat Service (SBS), the Special Forces of the service on board NNS Oji and NNS Ikene were transferred to MT Heroic IDUN. On the 7th day at sea, in the early morning of Friday, November 11th, MT Heroic IDUN weighing her anchor and cast off setting sail and was escorted by NNS Oji and NNS Ikene en route to Boni Anchorage in Nigeria. After 8 days at sea, on Saturday, November 12, 2022, MT Heroic IDUN, manned by 26 crew members, which comprises of 16 Indians, 8 Sri Lankans, 1 Filipino and a Polish national, followed closely by NNS Oji and NNS Ikene, with 2 thugs, arrived Boni Anchorage. On Monday, 14th November 2022, 16 out of the 26 crew members were arraigned by Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt. On Tuesday, 15 November 2022, the Nigerian Navy organized a joint press briefing with Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Justice on MT Heroic IDUN.
MT Heroic IDUN is presently in the custody of the Nigerian Navy, and based on legal opinion and analysis, the supertanker could be said to have committed the following offenses against the Nigerian state. 1. Attempt to deal in export crude oil without license or authorization. 2. Entering the restricted zone around an oil field without authorization and force, violating Nigeria's exclusive economic zone regulations. 3. Falsely accusing a Nigerian Navy ship of piracy on the international maritime reporting platforms after having communicated with the Nigerian Navy ship without ambiguity about her identity, therefore violating sections of the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act 2019. 4. Violation of all lawful instructions at sea from maritime law authorities, as well as Nigeria's Miscellaneous Act and other associated national and international laws ascribed to by Nigeria. And finally, 5. Violation of custom and immigration laws as acceded by Nigeria regarding the operations of Akko Oil Terminal being an oil installation in the Nigerian exclusive economic zone.
To note the actual occurrence regarding MT HEROC IDUN, for which she is now under the custody of the Navy for prosecution.
Please disregard rumors, mischievous and fictitious articles being circulated by enemies of the state in a bid to cause chaos and discredit the efforts of the Nigerian Navy and indeed of Nigeria. The Navy also acknowledges with immense gratitude the role played by the government of Equatorial Guinea in the arrest and transfer of MT HEROC IDUN to Nigeria. Equally, the Nigerian Navy acknowledges the untiring efforts of the Federal Ministries of Defense, Foreign Affairs, and Justice in the actualization of the return of this vessel to Nigeria. The Navy assures Nigerians that in accordance with its statutory responsibilities and drawing strength from the strategic directives of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awad Zubairu Gambo, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, the service will maintain a posture of zero tolerance to crude oil theft and other criminal activities in our maritime domain.
The Navy shall continue to work in synergy with other maritime stakeholders, Gulf of Guinea states' navies as strategic partners to ensure that Nigeria derives maximum benefits from its natural maritime endowments. And this marked the flag-off of an operation of the Nigerian Navy in collaboration with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited (NNPCL), codenamed Operation Dakada de Barao, meaning Operation Stop the Thief in Hausa language, on Friday, 1st April 2022 at the Federal Ocean Terminal Jetty, One, Rivers State. In the last 7 months, the operation, which is aimed at curbing crude oil theft and illegal oil bunkering with a view to ensuring the economic prosperity of Nigeria, has made tremendous strides. The Nigerian Navy operations bases comprising the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Pathfinder, NNS Delta, NNS Jubilee, NNS Sorrow, NNS Lugard, Forward Operating Base FOB Formoso, FOB Escravos, FOB Igbokoda, FOB Boni, and Naval Outpost Onitsha are actively involved in the operation. Through deployment of various Nigerian Navy platforms to aggressively patrol to curb the menace of crude oil theft and illegal oil bunkering within Nigeria's maritime environment, has been sustained by the Nigerian Navy and other security agencies. So far, Operation Dakada de Barao has made significant progress and recorded successes on its primary assignment. Within the first few weeks of the operation, the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Delta deactivated an illegal refining site around Sarah Creek, which had 16 ovens, 16 metal storage tanks, and 3 pits filled with about 500,000 liters of illegally refined diesel, as well as 700,000 liters of stolen crude oil, a generator and 4 pumping machines in Warri. Another site at Asogbo Creek, also in Warri, was discovered with 6 ovens, 12 metal storage tanks, and 5 large pits, all containing about 600,000 liters of stolen crude oil, including 200,000 liters of illegally refined diesel and about 150,000 liters of sludge. NNS Victory in Calabar raided a tanker garage along Harbour Road and seized a storage tank containing about 45,000 liters of suspected illegally refined diesel. Also, a tanker laden with 33,000 liters of suspected locally refined AGO was seized and the owner was arrested. About 58 drums of locally refined AGO were also seized. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Pathfinder on 1st May 2022 conducted swamp buggy operations in the Cowthorne Channel to clear identified illegal refining sites. The base intercepted and arrested 12 suspects in 3 communities of Isaka, Tongolonsoju, and Soko, where reports indicated that 2 of the communities served as critical enablers to the saboteurs. The swamp buggy operations and other raids continued for another 2 weeks in several creeks within the region and witnessed seizures of over 6 million liters of oil products and stolen crude oil, with the arrest of more than 20 suspects, all handed over to prosecuting agencies. This is in addition to the confiscation of several pieces of refining equipment. Furthermore, records from the month of May 2022 indicated that over 6 billion naira worth of products was denied oil thieves. Despite remarkable achievements recorded in the first 2 months of the operation, the Navy did not relent in its efforts, but instead vowed to sustain the fight against crude oil theft, illegal refining sites, and illegal bunkering. Hence, the Nigerian Navy, working with other security agencies and maritime stakeholders, clamped down heavily on the suppliers and conveyors of illegally and locally refined products. FOB Escravos on 26 September 2022 identified a new illegally refining site off the Benin River along Odi village in Warri North local government area of Delta State. The site had 3 dugout pits cumulatively filled with about 200,000 liters of stolen crude oil. The site was deactivated and the products were handled appropriately. Also on 27th and 28th September 2022, the base identified and intercepted some illegal refining sites at Opuama village off Benin River in Warri North local government area of Delta State, where the wooden boats and products were appropriately handled. And on 29th September 2022, NNS Pathfinder around Alakiri General Area deactivated an oven and 2 reservoirs. Also, the base conducted swamp buggy ops at Market Square, Upomakiri community from 1st to 2nd October 2022. The criminals set part of the camp ablaze in order to halt the team advance. Notwithstanding the resistance, the patrol team subsequently dominated the camp and dismantled 19 ovens, 6 storage tanks, and 12 reservoirs. Similarly, the base proceeded to Alakiri General Area, where 7 large reservoirs and 6 storage tanks were dismantled. Additionally, on 2nd October 2022, NNS Victory intercepted 3 fuel tankers around Awi Junction in Odukbani local government area of Cross River State, with an unspecified quantity of product suspected to be illegally refined AGO. A total of 14 illegal refining sites, 72 metal storage tanks, 9 wooden boats, 29 dugout pits, 51 ovens, and 25 reservoirs were appropriately handled during the period under review. Additionally, oil thieves were denied about 16,616.35 barrels of crude oil and 608,000 liters of illegally refined automobile gas oil, amounting to 1,060,545,672 naira 42 kobo only. It is pertinent to note that not all the operational achievements have been presented here. But worthy of note is that within the 6 months of flag-off Operation Dakada de Barao has so far made tremendous and commendable efforts aimed at stopping crude oil theft and illegal refining sites, denying oil thieves and economic saboteurs a total approximated value of products between April to October 2022. The cumulative figure is put at 32,368,480,214 naira 45 kobo only, with the arrest of 107 suspects and 12 vessels, deactivated 293 legal refining sites and 4,582 storage facilities. Also on record is the arrest of 354 wooden boats, demobilization of 50 vehicles, seizure of 50 speedboats, 249 pumping machines, 163 outboard engines, 8 welding machines, and 32 generator sets. The Nigerian Navy, as always, will continue to live up to its mandate of securing the nation's maritime environment and the protection of its oil and gas infrastructures for the economic prosperity of the country.
The collaborative efforts of Nigerian Navy with other stakeholders and indeed other navies in ensuring the return of MT Heroic IDUN to Nigeria is a clear demonstration of the political will of President Muhammadu Buhari, determination of other strategic leaders, and commitment of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awozuberu Gambo, to keep Nigerian maritime environment safe. Until next week, when we shall come your way again, please support the Nigerian Navy and other security agencies in securing the Nigerian maritime domain. I am Jibrin Baba Ndachi. Onward together.